this is the People's Registry, quite honestly, and that's one of the most important aspects of what I do here, is to make everything a lot easier for them. And
so
to make sure
the important aspect you do is to
make it more accessible, more user-friendly for all the people who we serve in the district. And actually, the very first thing I did is we reestablished or opened customer service for all the people who need help. Which is
what does that entail?
Well, if you need help, first of all, what a copy of a discharge, a copy of a deed, any lost documents you thought you had, or you're looking for documents on your own personal property, you can call us up. And we have 4 people that rotate in and out. Kelly and Virginia and Karen and Kay.
Kelly, Virginia,
Karen, and Kay, as well as, you know, everyone else in the registry. And we can either print your documents for you, we can mail them out to you, we can email them to you. If you need a plan, we have all sorts of requests that come in on a daily basis. Probably service, geez, I want to say, you know, on a busy day, we're probably up to around 80, 85 requests.
Okay.
On a really busy day, yeah. Just in customer service.
Okay.
And sometimes we point people in, and you know, if we can't help them, we try to point them in the right direction, because it's very frustrating. I've been around for a while, so you know, it's very frustrating when you call someone in government and you say, hey, this is what I need, and we say, no, we can't do it, and they hang up the phone. We don't do that. Okay. If we can't help them, we try to get them somewhere where we can help them, who can help them.
Okay. So what's your role in that? Sort of managing that, or
we manage that.
Ideas?
Yeah.
Like your role specifically.
Right. So my role is I manage all of that, and I've come up with different ideas of how we can be more involved with the communities we serve, and how we can be helpful. So, for example, every month we cut over how many all the sales we have in the district, and we send them out. Sometimes they come and pick them up to all the communities for the assessor's office.
Okay.
Lawrence,
the Andovers.
Andover, yeah, not Andover. And I'll show you some items that we put together too. The other thing we do is we often warn the public through the newspaper and other outlets of scams that come up. You know, the biggest one we have is, like the deed scams are one of them. We had new scams, believe it or not, with people getting passports. So we try to pump as much. We're basically focused on the homeowner aspect of it. But, you know, while we're doing it, we might as well do it for everybody. Another thing I established was we have a bilingual line. So Virginia's our bilingual person.
Okay.
It's a team effort. I mean, you know, we're all in this together. I hate saying I. You know, I mean, I have a good team. I'm fortunate to have some great people here, and you know, we've sat down and we put a plan together to do what we're doing. Okay. So, for example, with the bilingual line, we have a lot of foot traffic. From the people even in the housing courts. It's kind of switched a lot. We often, before Jed Sullivan left, I would talk to him on a regular basis of how we could meet the needs of some of the people in the housing court, from who owns the property, how they could find who owns the property if they had any issues and things of that nature.
Okay.
And then the other thing too is the website. The website was probably the biggest, that was the biggest #1 issue that we had, that I had coming in.
Why was that?
Well, it needed to be updated. And we had a lot of complaints with, you know, when I campaigned 3 years ago, that's one of the biggest things I heard about is people weren't happy with the website. They either get kicked off of the website, they couldn't access all the documents the right way.
Okay. So what does your typical day look like?
So we get in, we have a meeting with Tony and Carol, and I'd like you to introduce you to them, and Diane, Tony Accardi, and Carol Tully, and Diane Shanahan.
Okay.
And we kind of review who's in, who's out, what we have for coverages. If we have to move some people around, we do that.
Okay. What time does the office open in the morning?
8 o'clock.
8. Okay. And that meeting takes place at 8 or 8:30?
Around 8:30, usually, once everyone gets settled in.
Okay. And that's for coverage of the phone lines, for
Right.
accepting documents, or
Phone lines, we do e-recording as well, so,
Okay.
I mean, we have stuff in the queue at 8 o'clock.
What time does land court open? 8 as well?
8 o'clock, yeah. Everything opens at 8. So you can record, you can record registered land documents.
Mm-hmm.
That's another thing. We help a lot of people out, getting them through the land court.
Mm-hmm.
Because sometimes with registered land documents, they need to be, examined by the land court itself. Sometimes
Okay.
they have to file petitions. And we try to do our best. I mean, we really can't do the work for them, but we pretty much.
For the people or for the land
right,
court?
for the people.
Okay.
So sometimes they have to file what they call S petitions to change names in the deeds and
Okay.
register the land. So we put them in touch
Mhm.
with the right people.
And the registered land has to go through land court, it can't just be filed here, correct?
Right.
Okay.
Right. I mean, we can record registered land documents, but
Mhm.
if there's something that has to be done, it usually has to go through the land court, get an order, and then we ultimately
Oh, okay.
record it.
Get an order, you said?
Right. Yeah. They'll have to get some kind of an order.
Okay.
For example, I forgot the name of the church, but there's a church in Methuen that's selling to another church, and because there was a name change from the original church name, they have to go to the land court to make sure all the document names line up.
Okay.
So
And
we
before you'll do that, you'll wait for the order from the land court?
right. So they come here, we tell them no, we can't record it. We'll call the land court. We'll say,
Mhm.
hey, here's what we have. We typically email them the documents, and then from there, one of the land court examiners take a look at it. They now then get in touch with the attorney who's dealing with the case, and then once they get all the necessary paperwork in order and they go before a judge,
Mhm.
then they'll have an order and they'll bring it here and then we can record it. But usually they'll need most of the docs from us because we house all the documents.
Mhm. Right.
And with the land court, we don't give the originals back to the homeowner or to the attorney. We actually house the originals here.
Oh, okay. Okay, and the 8:30 meeting is a daily thing?
Pardon me?
The 8:30 meeting is a daily thing?
Yeah,
Okay.
we do it daily.
And then, after that?
After that, once we have our game plan for what's going on for the day, we begin our day. So that entails some days, not every week, but we'll go out to the senior citizen centers, for example. We'll host meetings about people's homesteads. We'll warn them about the deed scams. It doesn't happen every day, but that happens. We also do, as part of our outreach, we'll go to different veterans events as well. Because, for example, we were at the retirement of the North Andover Veterans Direct Action. That's where I saw you. And at the same time, we met the new Veterans Director, Jerry McGuire. We just, we're reaching out to him in a couple of weeks. We just put a letter together saying, hey, if your veterans need anything, or the families need anything, consider us.
Because statutorily, veterans have different rights and different
Right.
processes
Right.
for their
They do, yeah.
houses, okay.
So if they need any support like that,
Mhm.
that's typically what we do. And, like I said, we're involved with the community too. We just had a training session for new attorneys, or for attorneys on the new website, I should say. That happened last week. We'll give you a brochure too.
Okay.
Where we brought, I don't know, 12 to 15 lawyers in, and told them a little bit about the website. And, an hour and a half, did a little training session with them, showed them how to use it. And from there, they suggested that, we do something for the paralegals too.
Okay.
So,
Okay. So then, how long is your typical day? I mean, are you in the office all day? Or?
Well, I'm in and out, depending upon, if we have some meetings set up. In 2 minutes, I'll show you a brochure we put together, for example. So, for each community, we're working on Lawrence's and Andover now. We've got like the Methuen, I want to say, completed. North Andover is maybe 99%. So what we found is when I put a web committee together of like lawyers, realtors, paralegals, title examiners who use it every day, and even, 1 or 2 staff members from here, when we designed this new website, to kind of get everything together, to really address the needs of different constituencies, to see what they need. So we have like GIS maps, and then from there we decided to put a booklet together, because one of the things is when a new person, a new homeowner to the area, some people move out from out of town, they want to know a little bit about each community, where they're buying their house from. So that's what, like, we have a quick sketch of each community, like for North Andover, some of the youth sports teams, who their elected officials are in each community, some useful phone numbers.
Okay.
And we'll attend various events throughout the year just to take some pictures.
What kind of events?
Well, we do, like I said, we do some veterans events. If it's around here, we'll even go out to some ribbon cuttings. We kind of mix it up a little bit to let people know we're here and what we can do to help them. We also swear people in. So if you're a notary public and your notary is expired and you have to get sworn in, we have what they call commissioners to qualify. We have about 4 or 5 people that do that. So instead of going into Boston, you can come here and get sworn in. That's a big service that people utilize. We haven't really tracked it, but it really is. It's taken off, especially last year where we had so much snow that no one wanted to go into Boston because it was so hot. So we got a ton of people that came in. And now, as those people begin to renew or they tell their friends, we're getting even more foot traffic. Yeah, word of mouth. And, the parking's pretty good out here, so, depending upon what time of day you come. But for the most part, it's a lot easier than parking somewhere else, like in Boston.
Or in Boston,
yeah. So that's another big uptick we've had. We also do corporate certificates. So if you go online and you need a certificate of good standing with an LLC or a corporation, you have to go online through Secretary Galvin's office. You pay the fee, but they actually email the documents here. We'll print them out for them, and they can come in and pick them up because they need the raised seal and the gold embossed seal and stuff like that. So that's more helpful to the community. And we've worked with Joe Bevilacqua in the Chamber of Commerce on that, Mike Bevilacqua, because he's getting the word out to all the different, to his membership, because it's helpful to them. When they be financing or whatever they need in their normal course of business, they usually need a certificate of good standing. So we're able to do things like that as well.
Okay.
Another thing, we haven't really announced it yet, so you guys will be the ones that announce it. We brought the plans back. The land plan, so property line plans, I'll show you one.
Okay.
Plot plans, subdivision plans.
Oh, so, like a visual representation of what the deed says.
Yeah, so everything's scanned in to, everything's scanned in and available online, but sometimes people need to look and actually look at the physical plan. So those have been in Salem, gosh, we just brought those back, I want to say 2 months ago. The Sheriff Cousins was nice enough to help us out, and they gave us some volunteers. So, and so it was like a 2 or 3 day move, but actually it really, I bought them lunch I bought it, and take it out of the registry budget.
Right.
But you know what I'm saying, I mean, and people like that, the lawyers love it, the
Right.
title examiners like it. The other thing too is we get a lot of requests for people putting up a fence, and that's, you know, they want to put a fence on their property
so they
lines.
know
Oh,
the lines.
God, yeah, so that's been the new thing, now that the surveyors have caught on that we have some of that documentation here, we're getting a lot more upticks on that
Okay.
as well.
So your typical day is from 8 to 4:30?
Yep.
Okay. Over the last 6 months or so, we've actually been surveilling you, and the hours don't really match up with that. You know, we've seen you come in anywhere between 9, 10:30, 11 o'clock. In the office, going to places like the drugstore, running errands, the bank. So I just wanted to ask how that squares with, you know, the schedule that you were giving me just a minute ago.
Well, no, I'm in and out, I mean, there's nothing.
Running errands?
Well, lunchtime, and, yeah, sometimes on lunch.
Okay. I totaled up the minutes that you spend in the office over that time. It started in June, and it averages out to about 4 hours a day in the office. And going to other places that aren't events like a veterans event or you know, a senior center like that, it's CVS, or it's your mother's house on Jackson Street, or it's you know, leaving your house late. So how does this fit in with working full time and keeping a full schedule?
You know, I'm here a lot. I am. I mean, I move around as well.
Are you satisfied with the hours you're putting in, that you're accomplishing the job?
Well, there's some days I'm here longer, but for the most part, I'm here a lot.
And the time that you put into the office, are you satisfied with that's what needs to get the job done?
Well, I mean, we're getting the job done, but at the same time, you know, for example, we just did that event with the attorneys, so I went to BJ's to get some of the products we needed. You know, sandwich, you know, we got some cold cuts. I went to Stop and Shop one day before I came in to pay for the platter and items like that. Or I go to Market Basket to get some of the supplies that we needed. You know, I have the receipts, you know, I can show you that.
Okay. Do you feel that you're putting in a full day?
Yeah, because I'm on the phone a lot with people, helping them out as well.
Your phone in the office, or your cell phone? Or?
My cell phone. You know, and I answer, you know, on the way in today, I made a couple of calls. Someone called me up about some documents. And,
Is it your personal cell phone, or is it a registry cell phone?
it's my cell phone.
Your cell phone.
Yep.
Okay. Okay, so what are all the things that you do in the afternoons?
Here, I return some phone calls. We review some documents, and we go over a list of things that we need to get done on a daily basis.
Okay. What's your relationship with Jim DeJuga?
He's my friend. I've known him for, I don't know, 20 years.
Does he have a role in this office?
No.
Is he paid in this office?
Nope.
Okay. I've seen him in the office using the computers, using this conference room, talking to staff. I don't know what he's saying to them, but what is he doing in the office?
He stops in to say hi. I mean, a couple times a week.
What does he do with the office equipment?
Nothing that I know of.
I've seen him using the equipment, and in here when you're not in here. Do you know what he does?
I don't know, to be honest.
Has nobody in the office told you that he does this?
I have no knowledge of that. I mean, he's here when I'm here sometimes.
He also, for the swearing in of the new Methuen Fire Chief in November, he printed out a number of glossy pamphlets, programs for the event. Those came out of this office. Did he reimburse you? Did the city of Methuen reimburse you for that time and for those materials?
Well, I put a lot of the booklet together.
Okay. Why did that come from this office?
Because they didn't have one, and
Who didn't have one?
they didn't have a booklet, and I volunteered to make them, like 40 booklets.
Is that appropriate for this office to be doing that?
Well, it's part of the community,
Mm-hmm.
and I attended the ceremony and
Okay.
thought it would be a nice thing to do. And that goes along with the booklets that we make for, Andover, North Andover, Lawrence, and Methuen.
Mm-hmm.
I don't normally do that. But again, it's a public event, and I think it's important for us to be involved in the community.
Okay. I've also obtained a copy of a list of Christmas cards that the interns maintain and send out from this office. Are you aware of that
Oh, we didn't do Christmas cards this year.
this year?
No,
Did you do
we
them last
didn't.
year?
We did 1 year from the registry, yeah.
Who curates and maintains that list?
I did that on my computer.
Who got, like, how did you decide who got on the list?
I don't know, people that we deal, like public officials, we send some Christmas cards to, but most of that stuff's all done by me. It's not really done by anybody else.
Okay.
And the other thing too, my mother's house, my mother's in the middle of selling her house, so yeah,
Okay.
I'm not gonna lie to you, I mean, I've been there a little bit more than the normal. She's in the process of selling her house. She needs a little help, and I take some of my time to do that, vacation time. But, I'm here more often than I think you're telling me that I am.
Do you have a set amount of vacation time or sick time?
I carry sick time, I don't know exactly what I have. And
Do you-
vacation time, we're not given a prescribed amount of vacation time.
Do you account for the time that you're out, like a vacation time or a sick time or anything like a personal time, whatever kind of leave you have?
Do you mean like a log?
Yeah, like a log, anything you turn into?
No,
something?
but, no.
And how about the hiring? What do you, when you hire, what are some of the qualifications you look for? How do you go about hiring for different staff and internship positions in the registry office?
So, both interns, we've rotated interns in and out.
Two
One-
interns, you said?
Well, no, usually one. We have
Oh,
two
really?
right now, but usually during the year we have one intern. She's bilingual, she's a law student,
Okay. At New England or in Boston?
Suffolk.
That's up. Okay. And so what's the process for hiring, for seeking candidates?
Some people, in their instance, they approached me, they said, hey, you're looking for interns? I said, sure, we could always use someone that helps out. So she's bilingual, she does some of our letters that we put together. For example, we just did that attorney training session. So she's putting together some thank you letters. I kind of drafted it. She typed it up. So more than welcome to look at them too, you know.
Is she looking to get into real estate law or?
I don't know.
Just
I think she's
an
in just law
internship?
school.
Sure. And then how about for the full-time positions?
We've hired a part-time person. You know, I've interviewed them. And a full-time person. The other gentleman, Tony, that was here, that's here, he's retired. He was a first assistant in Lowell,
First assistant?
registered in Lowell. He retired.
Registered deeds?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
In
Lowell.
Lowell, yep. And he, and actually I approached him to help me out and try to get all this moving along in terms of the website and everything else.
Okay.
So
Okay.
he's here. Yeah, he's here like.
Is he a consultant or is he full-time?
No, he is a consultant.
Okay. And he's currently retired, but comes in as a consultant?
Yes. He averages maybe, don't hold me to it, like 20, 24 hours a week, something like that.
I have looked over some of the hires over the last couple of years, and many of them are connected. Kay, that you mentioned, is the wife of an attorney in Lauren, in Andover. Arthur Broadhurst's wife was hired. The office manager is actually Jim DeJuga's little partner's wife. Some of the interns, Stashi's daughter, Shibawan, the last name.
Holland? Yeah.
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 Another developer's daughter as an intern. Are these part of the consideration when you're hiring? Or
No, they just came in and you know, they approached me and they seemed fine. One of the developer's daughter, for example, she wasn't with us very long. I think she was with us 6 weeks. So she really came in and helped us with a lot of our social media.
So they approach you?
Yes.
These folks?
Right. Or someone from the community might have asked me on one of the other interns, say, hey, you know, are you looking for interns? I said, yeah, if we have the money.
And who from the community
that
would
was
approach
someone from the north end of the community, for example, approached me on Siobhan Holland, and someone from the Andover community approached me on the developer's daughter. But again, they're interns and they're helping out. They bring a different aspect to how we want to do our outreach into the community.
Are there any political considerations that go into it?
No. I mean, none of these people, none of the interns help me on a campaign or anything. I think we just,
Even for full-time staff?
no.
Okay. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
No, I'm here. Like,
Okay.
you know, like, I'm here and, for the most part, like I said, you know, the last month or so, you know, like I said, we're trying to help my mom out, so I've been taking a little bit more time off than normal, but for the most part, I'm here.
Does she live there?
Yeah, in and out.
Great. Let me leave a card with you. I'll have my cell phone number on it as well.
I'll give you some of those booklets too.
Oh, yeah,
So
definitely.
for each community, so you could see,
Okay.
what's happening.